there's several little riddles. And the first one is about that prince who had in his employ a quite famous artist. And one day he asked the artist, "What is it that's the hardest thing to draw?" And the artist said, "Cats and dogs and the like." "And what is the easiest thing to draw?" And the artist replied, "Spirits and ghosts and monsters." And the prince said, "How is that?" And the artist said, "Well, dogs and cats and the like are part of our reality day by day, and so it's very hard to get them just right. But spirits, ghosts and monsters are not part of our daily reality, so they're very easy to draw." And then you perhaps remember that story about the monk who'd been in the monastery for many decades, but every day, as part of his discipline, he would go outside the monastery gate and circumnambulate a little hill by which the monastery had been built. Now one day, as he was making his circular meditation, a booming voice came out and said, "All beings must die." And the monk nodded, thinking to himself, "Yes, I know this truth." And so he kept walking and making his circle around the hill, and the booming voice came again and said, "This is the law." And the monk, as he kept walking, thought to himself, "Yes, I know this truth." And he kept on with his meditative walk. But then the booming voice rang out again and said, "There is a truth beyond this." And the old monk paused and said, "Yes, I have been seeking this for all of my life." But then, of course, in thinking about this question, he questioned, where was that voice coming from? And somehow he was moved to climb that hill. And when he did, he found that at its top there was a great hole, like an abyss, a void that seemed, when he looked, to go down to infinity, not being able to see its depths. But then the voice, now so close, said, "Jump, and the truth will be revealed to you as you fall." Of course, at that moment, the monk did just that. He leapt from the edge of that abyss and went into free fall. it is said that he is falling still. Then there's a story about a great teacher called LuTzu. Now one day, the neighbour of LuTzu came to him and said, "I have lost my sheep, and I have gathered all I know around me to help me go to seek it. And I wonder if you will release your servant to come with me to join that search." Now, LuTzu said, "Why do you need so many people to seek for one sheep?" And the neighbor replied, "There are many pathways that the sheep could have taken." So the servant went off and joined the search. And some time later, he came back, and LuTzu asked him, "Well, did you find the sheep?" And he said, "No, there were so many paths to take, and each seemed to lead into the other, and we did not find the sheep." Now, to the students of LuTzu, they were very surprised, because from that moment, the Master LuTzu walked around without a smile on his face, as he usually was, and his brow was furrowed, and the students talked amongst themselves and said, "How can that be? This sheep did not even belong to our master. Why is he in such a mood now?" And one of his students said to the rest of them, "Well, our master knows that there is only one truth, although there are many pathways leading to it." And he is indicating to us as students that if we diversify our interests in so many ways, we will never find that truth. In order to seek the source of all knowledge, the one truth, there cannot be any pathways. There is only one question. So these seeming riddles and this seemingly enigmatic story bring us to a point where we can ask ourselves, in the questions that we have asked in seeking truth, enlightenment, God realization, whatever it has been for us, what is the one question that should be asked? Not who am I, not what is my purpose, what is enlightenment, etc., etc., etc. What is the one question that arises to our lips when we recognize and acknowledge that there is only one? Have you yet worn out the question, who am I? What am I here for? What's my purpose? Where have those questions led us along the many pathways of endeavours, enabled us to put on many garments and cloaks, only to have them torn away from us. What is the one question that remains? And how is it that this truth, just like that riddle, is revealed to us in free fall only when we jump off the edge of the abyss? What is that question or state we're in when we're in free fall? How many times have you had that dream that you were falling in free fall? How many of us have had this dream where we were falling? Where were we in that dream? Where are we now?